Her name was Dorothy. In 1961, she turned 53 in Akron, Ohio. At her daughter's wedding that June, 3 of the guests asked her daughter the same question: "Is that your sister?" Dorothy had 3 products on her bathroom shelf: a jar of Pond's cold cream, a bottle of witch hazel, 1 lipstick in a gold tone case. That was everything. Her daughter counted them once, standing in the bathroom doorway, looking at that shelf. 3 things. Her own bathroom shelf at 31 had 27. She had lines Dorothy did not have. She had redness Dorothy had never had. She was spending $62 a month on products that were solving problems her mother had never developed. Dorothy never developed them because Dorothy never created the conditions for them. Her skin at 53 was not lucky. It was the result of 10 habits so ordinary she had never once thought of them as a beauty routine. She called it getting ready. She had no dermatologist, no retinol, no collagen peptide powder in her morning coffee, no vitamin C serum from a refrigerated dropper, no hyaluronic acid, no 10-step Korean skincare system she had read about in a magazine, no subscription box arriving on the 1st of every month with products she had not asked for. What Dorothy had was 3 products and 10 habits. The habits were the part nobody sold her. Because the habits were the part that actually worked. Then something changed. Not the women, not the human skin and what it needs. What changed was who got paid when that shelf of 3 products became a shelf of 37. Before number 10, subscribe. This is exactly what this channel is here to make. Number 10. Dorothy never touched her face. This sounds simple. It is not simple. In 1958, Dorothy sat at the kitchen table for 6 hours a day. She cooked, she sewed, she read, she wrote letters. Her hands were in constant motion. But they never went to her face, not to rest her chin, not to scratch an itch without washing first, not to pop a blemish, not to rub an eye, not once. This was not vanity. This was something her mother had told her when she was 12 years old. Your hands carry everything they have touched. Everything. Research published by the American Academy of Dermatology confirmed that unconscious face touching transfers bacteria, oil, and environmental debris to the skin an average of 16 times per hour in modern adults. 16 times per hour. Dorothy's generation had no name for this discipline. They simply kept their hands away from their face as a matter of basic cleanliness. The acne treatment market in the United States is now worth over $3 billion annually. A meaningful portion of it is treating problems that begin with a hand on a face. Dorothy never had the product. Dorothy never had the problem either. Number 9. Dorothy washed her face with cold water every morning. Not warm, not hot, cold, from the tap. Before the coffee, before the breakfast, before anything else. She bent over the sink, cupped the cold water in her hands, and pressed it to her face 3 times. That was it. No cleanser, just cold water and the shock of the morning. Cold water causes vasoconstriction. The blood vessels at the skin's surface contract, tightening the skin and closing pores. As the skin warms back to temperature, fresh oxygenated blood rushes to the surface. The result is the color and firmness that women in 1958 simply called looking awake. Cryotherapy facials now cost between $70 and $200 per session at medical spas. Dorothy paid nothing. She used the tap every morning for 50 years. Dorothy never had the product. Dorothy never had the problem either. Number 1 in this list is the beauty habit the skincare industry has spent more money erasing than any other. A habit so simple it fits on the back of a postage stamp. Stay with me. Number 8. Dorothy removed her makeup the same way every single night. Pond's cold cream. The same jar that had been in American bathrooms since 1846. She unscrewed the lid. She worked a small amount in slow upward circles, jawline to temples. She tissued it off in long, slow sweeps. 1 step, 60 seconds, everything gone. The tissue came away with the day's dust and makeup. The face underneath was clean, soft, and cool. The mineral oil in Pond's dissolves makeup at the molecular level and leaves a thin protective film on the skin overnight. A 2019 study in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology found that oil-based cleansing is significantly more effective at removing environmental pollutants than water-based cleansers. Dorothy did not know about that study. She knew the jar cost 35 cents and her mother had used the same one. Today, a cleansing balm performing the same function costs $65. The mechanism is identical. Dorothy never had the product. Dorothy never had the problem either. Number 7. Dorothy's face never saw direct sun without purpose. This requires explanation. In 1958, Dorothy was outside every day. She hung laundry on the line. She walked to the market. She sat on the porch in the evening. She was not hiding from the sun, but she was never in it carelessly. She wore a wide-brimmed hat when the sun was high. She sat in the shade when she could choose. She never sunbathed, not once, not because she was told not to, because lying in the sun doing nothing was not something a woman with a house to run had time for. The accidental sun discipline of the 1950s housewife produced skin outcomes that dermatologists now spend entire careers trying to reverse in their patients. UV exposure is responsible for approximately 80% of visible facial aging, according to research published in Clinical, Cosmetic, and Investigational Dermatology in 2013. The sunscreen market in the United States is now worth over $3 billion annually. Dorothy never wore sunscreen. She wore a hat and kept moving. Dorothy never had the product. Dorothy never had the problem either. Number 6. Dorothy drank water all day. Not as a wellness practice, not tracking her intake on an app, not carrying a branded 40-ounce tumbler. She drank water because she was thirsty and water was what you drank. She had a glass on the kitchen counter. She filled it from the tap every time she passed, all day. The skin is the largest organ in the human body. It is the last organ to receive water when the body is dehydrated and the first to show it. The hollow under eye, the fine line that deepens in the afternoon, the dullness that no amount of highlighter fully corrects, these are often not aging, they are thirst. A 2015 study published in Clinical, Cosmetic, and Investigational Dermatology found that increased daily water intake significantly improved skin density and thickness in women who were not meeting basic hydration needs. Dorothy met them, without thinking about it, without a product. The hydration supplement market, electrolyte powders, skin hydration serums, collagen drinks, reached $4.2 billion in 2024. Dorothy drank tap water. Dorothy never had the product. Dorothy never had the problem either. We are almost at number 1. It is the beauty habit the entire skincare industry was built to replace. Almost there. Number 5. Dorothy slept on her back every night. She did not know this was protecting her face. She simply slept the way she had always slept, on her back, hands at her sides, the pillow behind her head and nothing pressing against her face for 8 hours. Sleep wrinkles are mechanical. They are formed by the face being pressed into a pillow night after night, year after year. The skin creases. The crease deepens. The crease becomes permanent. Research published by the American Society of Plastic Surgeons found that sleep position is one of the primary contributors to asymmetrical facial aging and deep vertical wrinkles on the cheeks and around the eyes. Dorothy's face pressed into nothing for 50 years. The anti-wrinkle pillow market launched in the early 2000s and is now worth over $1 billion. Dorothy had a flat cotton pillow from the Five and Dime. She slept on her back. Dorothy never had the product. Dorothy never had the problem either. Number 4. Dorothy's skincare routine took 4 minutes, every night, in exactly this order. First, cold cream off. Second, witch hazel on a cotton pad, pressed to the face and neck. Third, 1 small amount of Pond's worked into the skin as a night moisturizer. Done. The witch hazel closed the pores that the cold cream had opened. The pond sealed what the witch hazel had balanced. The sequence was not random. Dorothy had not read about it in a magazine. Her mother had told her. Her mother's mother had told her mother. Dickinson's witch hazel had been in American pharmacies since 1866. A bottle cost $0.25. It contains tannins, gallic acid, and catechins, natural astringents and antioxidants whose mechanism is identical to the active compounds in pore-minimizing toners now selling for $35 to $60 a bottle. Dorothy pressed it cold to her face, patted it dry, was done. Dorothy never had the product. Dorothy never had the problem either. Number 3. Dorothy ate fat every single day. Butter on her bread, lard in her pastry, whole milk, eggs, meat with its fat intact. She was not counting her fat grams. The concept did not exist in 1958. She was simply eating food. Dietary fat is essential for the production of skin cell membranes, the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, and the regulation of inflammatory response in the skin. The low-fat movement launched in the 1970s with the McGovern Report's dietary guidelines. The skincare problems that followed were not coincidental. A 2012 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found a direct correlation between dietary fat intake and skin elasticity in women over 40. Dorothy had been eating full-fat food her entire life. Her skin showed it. The omega supplement market reached $12.4 billion in 2023. Dorothy ate butter. Dorothy never had the product. Dorothy never had the problem either. Number 2. Dorothy did not own a magnifying mirror. This sounds trivial. It is not trivial. In 1958, Dorothy had one mirror. In the bathroom, above the sink, she saw herself at normal distance, the same distance everyone else saw her. She put on her makeup. She left the house. The magnifying mirror arrived in American bathrooms in the 1970s and 1980s. It created a new category of problem, not the problem of bad skin. The problem of seeing normal skin at 10 times its actual size. At 10 times magnification, every pore looks like a crater. Every natural variation looks like a flaw. Every texture becomes a crisis to be solved. The pore-minimizing product category, primers, toners, masks, treatments, is now worth over $8 billion globally. Most of it is solving a problem that did not exist before women could see their pores at 10 times their actual size. Dorothy saw herself the way the world saw her. She found nothing there that needed solving. Dorothy never had the product. Dorothy never had the problem either. Number 1. Dorothy believed her skin was fine. This is the one the skincare industry cannot bottle. In 1958, there was no before and after photograph to show Dorothy what she was supposed to look like. No filtered image of a 22-year-old skin presented to her as the standard she should be meeting at 53. No algorithm calculating that she had spent 4 minutes looking at skincare advertisements and serving her 6 more. Dorothy had a mirror. She looked into it. She saw a 53-year-old woman who looked like a 53-year-old woman was supposed to look. She put on her lipstick. She went to her daughter's wedding. 3 people asked if she was the sister. The global anti-aging skincare market reached $167 billion in 2024. The fastest growing segment is products marketed to women under 35. Women who do not yet have the aging they are being sold solutions for. The industry does not wait for the problem to arrive. It teaches women to see the problem before it exists. Dorothy was never taught to see a problem, and so she never had one. Dorothy never had the product. Dorothy never had the problem either. Dorothy passed away in 2002. She was 83 years old. Her bathroom shelf when she died had 5 things on it: the jar of Pond's cold cream, the bottle of witch hazel, her lipstick, a bar of soap, her hairbrush. Her daughter cleared the shelf. She kept the lipstick, the gold tone case. She carries it in her purse now. She does not wear that color, but she does not throw it away. The 10 habits Dorothy kept were not a skincare routine. They were not a system. They were not optimized. They were just what a woman in Akron, Ohio did in the morning and at night before bed. What changed between Dorothy's bathroom shelf and yours was not what human skin needs. Those needs have not changed since 1961. What changed was who got paid when those needs were replaced with a $167 billion answer to a question Dorothy never thought to ask. Pick one thing from this list. Come back in the comments in a week and tell me what it did. The next video is already waiting.